So what's really offered here is the invitation to discovering that which is already free, not as a future promise, a future destination, what is meant by that which is already free. That which is free of circumstance, free of condition, free of history, free of personality. So it's not dependent on what has happened to you or hasn't happened to you. It's not dependent on what you've accumulated or acquired in terms of knowledge or methodology or expertise, or it's not dependent on how good you are, how advanced you are. It's free of all conditions. In other words, it's unconditional, and therefore it's always available. And surely that's what spiritual seekers are seeking, whether we call it enlightenment or awakening or liberation or freedom from suffering or peace or joy or love. Surely that's what all spiritual seekers are seeking, whether it's through meditation practice or some kind of understanding or some tradition. So we can give it many names, but all names will set up some kind of image of what it is and set it into the future as something to work towards, something to strive towards, something to practice towards, something to work on. That usually involves fixing the self, improving the self, becoming a more spiritual self. And you may have heard this before, no doubt, in some way, but it has to be said again and again. It is not dependent on anything. The freedom that we seek is not dependent on anything. It's already here. So it's really more of a matter of undoing or dissolving or clearing the veils of self that prevent us from recognizing this. And if you like, that's where the work is done. And yet, in the most difficult circumstances or the most intense pain, it can be recognized. So again, all the work that is done, all the support that is given, all the dialogues and discourses and pointers and guided meditations are really to facilitate the clearing of perception, the clearing the veils of self that obscure that which is already free in you. So there are no special practices. There is no methodology. There is no lineage. There is no tradition, although many traditions do point to this. But it's not a progressive path. It's a direct path. And in that, it's a pathless path, because you have to discover it for yourself. There's no one way, there's no one formula, there's no one solution. And yet, there are many seeming twists and turns and myths and seeming obstacles and confusions and so on that seem to be part of the journey. So what is offered and will be offered over the next few days, that we have this opportunity to be together, is the support for that which may shed light or bring light onto the veils so that they can dissolve a little or relax enough for the clear view, the clear light of being to reveal itself. Essentially, it's so ordinary. It's so constant that once truly recognized, you'll wonder what you've been doing all this time. You'll wonder what it is you've been looking for and why it seemed so mysterious and so over there somewhere. And that's not to diminish the depth of the journey, the depth of the invitation. Because whilst it's ordinary and whilst it's direct and whilst it's actually already here and available to each and every one, it does require every ounce of willingness in you. It doesn't happen by magic because it's not a happening. It's not an event. So simply being passive and expecting a magic wand to come along to enlighten you is not how it works. It requires you, the whole of you, the totality of you. To be ruthlessly honest, to be ruthlessly willing, ruthlessly devoted, to not moving away from what is actually here. And what is here, there are many layers, right? It can start as pain, mental pain, agitation, physical pain, tension, emotional pain, heartbreak. There are many layers. As soon as we tighten those layers, around those layers, as soon as we say, this shouldn't be here, I shouldn't be feeling this, then we've already overlaid our experience with one of the primary defenses of the self. And every time that happens, we create another layer. So then the freedom and the peace and the happiness that we seek seems to be a further and further away destination. And then we think that we need to fix the pain, the agitation, the whatever, in order to get to it. So already we're lost in a direction, down a path that does not open the doorway to that which we're seeking, to that recognition. So the first step, if you like, or the first stage, or the first invitation, is to relax the effort of trying to change what is here and just let it be. And whilst that sounds perhaps easy or frivolous, or, well, okay, if it's that easy, look within yourself and be honest. Is it? Because there wouldn't be suffering if that wasn't happening. If there wasn't the attempt to reject what is here, there wouldn't be suffering. It would simply be another wave in the ocean, because everything passes, all phenomena pass. And it would be fully felt, fully allowed. And it may break you open, it may break you down. But something opens in that. Because you start turning attention, if you are willing, if you give yourself wholeheartedly, you may start turning your attention to that which does not change. Because however broken you are, however aching you are, however agitated you are, whatever your story, whatever your history, at some point, if not already, of course, you'll see that all experience is a phenomenon. It goes on and on and on, but it's always changing. So you can't rely on experience for peace or happiness or fulfillment or freedom. No amount of changing your circumstances or changing your personality or changing your body will actually bring the freedom that is really being sought. So what does reveal that freedom? That's where the journey is. That's where the investigation is. That's where the direction is. And yeah, we can read and know and understand on some level that that which does not change is consciousness or awareness, or call it what you will. But to really live that, to really know that, to really recognize it right in the midst of the horror and glory of life itself, that's it. That's what it's about. No amount of knowing or understanding or reading or meditation practice or knowledge will really help you in that. It has to be truly lived, truly known. And that does require courage, and that does require devotion, and that does require giving yourself to that, if that is what you seek, which is freedom from suffering.